Good morning, Grublins. So I had a very different plan for this vlog, and we're just going another route. So I initially planned for this vlog to be queer romance. I had read just for fun, at the end of Pride, I read Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandra Bellflower, I believe is her name. And so that's the third book in the series. So I found the other two in my library system, and I'd requested those, and I bought 2 books from this local little library truck, and they were also queer. And I was like, oh, I could do like a big queer reading vlog with these like 4 books I have. Well, my library had other plans. Well, my library and Mandy Spooks. So I was like, okay, I'm good, I'm set, everything is all good. Had a plan for my the August full moon readathon. Well, Mandy Spooks had picked a Summerween book to do for her like spooky book club. I forget what the book club is called. Spookworm, I think is it. So she had like a poll, people voted, and they picked Camp Sylvania, which sounds so fun. It is a middle grade book about a girl whose name is Magnolia or Maggie, who winds up going to Camp Rising Star, and it turns out that it is fat camp. And this fat camp has vampires. So I was like, this sounds great, because oddly enough, I love going to camp as a kid. I went to Girl Scout camp a bunch, mostly day camp, so I didn't spend the night, but I did go to like sleepaway camp one time. And for that sleepaway camp, I had a nickname, and it was Snoopy. So I'm wearing my Snoopy vampire shirt because it fit for me because they're vampires and Snoopy. But she picked this book for her Summerween read. That was my very brief synopsis of this book. And she was initially going to do her book club like meetup, or however it's going to happen because they're still determining that, was going to be at the end of August. But it's now going to be at the end of July. And I was like, oh, I should read this in July then. So this was being bumped up, and I was like, oh, I'll just read it like at the end of the month, no big deal. Well, my library sent me an email because I requested, and I want to make sure I say the title of this book right. I had requested a new thriller that is out. So, should have pulled this up before I started filming, but I think it's a thriller. I'm very sure it's a thriller. Okay, hold. Yes, okay, so Smile for the Camera is a novel, and this just sounded really good, and this is like a super small blurb. So it's an actress desperate to reclaim her fame must survive the real-life plot for a horror movie that made her famous in the psychologically twisted locked room thriller influenced by 90s slasher films. It's by Miranda Smith. Smile for the Cameras. I was so excited. Like, this just sounded so fun, and I know it like just came out, so, or at least I was under the impression it just came out. So I placed my hold, kind of was like, I probably won't come in until like August, because that's typically what happens with new releases at my library. It takes a little bit for them to come in if you're not at the specific library it's at. And so I was like, that's fine. Well, yesterday I got an email saying it's in, and I was like, crap, because it at maximum is a 2-week book. And I could be wrong, and it could just be a 7-day book, because that does sometimes happen. I don't know. Again, I don't know how new this is. So I was like, I'm gonna have to read that like as soon as I get it so that it can go back. So the plan is now to read, I'm gonna start Camp Sylvania a little bit before work and possibly during my lunch, because it is middle grade, so it's pretty short. And then after that, I'll be reading Smile for the Cameras. And I actually have the sequel to this. So if I like this in this vlog, I'll go ahead and read the sequel, and then we'll see where we go from there. I have some other books behind me that are like hanging out. I have a book that's requested that I could toss in here if it comes in by the time I'm done with these. So this is now going to be like Summerween, the extension, Summerween the sequel, Summerween the Summerweening. I don't know, but this is now an extension of Summerween that I wasn't planning on doing, because I was really gonna read queer romance, because I was like, oh, these will be so fun. Although one of them is Christmas themed so far. I read the first chapter and I was like, Christmas? But they were also talking about Halloween, so my brain was like, what? Okay. Halloween decorations were up, but so were Christmas decorations. It was a thing. But we're gonna start with this one, Camp Sylvania, so that I can definitely get this done for whenever the live or the video or however it gets figured out is posted on Mandy Spooks' channel, because it sounds so cute. and like something I would really like. So I'm just excited. I'm not going to read you any more of the description. I will say, Maggie arrives at camp, things are weird. There are humiliating weigh-ins and grueling workouts, but the campers are also encouraged to donate blood. So this will be fun. Sorry, there's a big truck. They're doing so much weird work at the end of my street. There was a lawn crew, there's a tree removal service. Now there's giant trucks. I don't know. But we're gonna read this one first because it's pretty short and see how that goes. And then we'll move on to the thriller that really forced me to do this video this week, as opposed to like waiting a tiny bit to read this later in the month. So I'll have thoughts for you on Camp Sylvania, and I'll leave you again with this very fun shirt. But I'll have thoughts for you on Camp Sylvania when I am a little ways through it, or possibly when I'm done. Middle grade is tricky. Sometimes I read it faster than I expect. So I'm gonna find out what happens to Maggie at camp, and I'll get back to you at some point with some sort of update. So yes, Gremlins. More Summerween, which I mean I'm excited for. I just was not expecting to do like Summerween, the official like Gabby reads Summerween, and then like an extension of Summerween because someone else is doing a Summerween themed book club, and because my thriller is in. So yeah, unexpected things. Sometimes your library and life just control your TBR, okay? You just can't plan things. It just happens the way it's gonna happen. So I will talk to you when I have an update, Gremlins. Hello, Gremlins. I'm back. It's the start of my lunch break, and because this is middle grade and I had some time this morning, I was able to get about halfway through Camp Sylvania, and I thought I would fill you in because I did read the description a little bit wrong. So the setup for this, which I kind of already told you, was that Maggie is being sent to Fat Camp. But what sucks is that Maggie was supposed to go to Rising Stars Camp with her best friend Nora. She thought it was all set up. They thought they might be able to room together. And then, right, like the last day of school, her parents inform her that they're actually sending her to Camp Sylvania. And as it turns out, her mom went to the camp before the name change. So what we learn is that her mother went to a camp called Camp New Beginnings, and that her friend from that camp, Sylvania, I believe is her name, now runs the camp. It was run down, she bought it, and so she wants to send her daughter because she's like, it was really helpful for me. Sylvia was a great friend, so I'm gonna send you there. So Maggie gets to the camp eventually after being pretty upset that she's not going to Rising Star with her best friend. But it turns out Rising Star is across the lake, so she can see the camp kind of, and her friend Nora is technically nearby, so could attempt to come visit her. So as we progress in the story, kind of right at the beginning, we meet her bunkmates, who are Evelyn, who is British and the child of divorced parents, and her dad has sent her to this camp, and she's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be visiting him, and now I'm at this camp. And then Kit, who has 2 dads and is a Girl Scout, which is exciting because I was like, oh, she's a Girl Scout, yay. She is a more outdoorsy Girl Scout than I was. So day camp was outdoors, but it was only a few hours when I was a kid. So I just wore a lot of bug spray because some of my day camps were actually at night. So I wore a lot of bug spray, sometimes sunscreen depending, and you would just like go around. You didn't have to sleep outside. You never started a fire on your own. There were adults who did that. Then when I was old enough to go to away camp, the away camp I went to, this is a brief aside, we didn't really start fires on our own. We kind of just like ate prepared meals. Like we went to the lodge to eat, and then we slept in these things called covered wagons, which were like a cement box with little spots you could put a sleeping bag and sleep, and then it was covered like a covered wagon. And somehow my camp experience was only 3 girls. 2 girls went home pretty early. One she like sprained her ankle and didn't want to stay, and her sister only came to the camp because they were going together and she didn't even want to be there, so they left. So it was only 3 of us. And then there was like a very young kids camp happening at the same time on the same property, also Girl Scouts. So we kind of did our stuff and then wound up hanging out with them a lot because we were such a small group of campers. So my camp experience was much different than this. I kind of had a cabin. I had you go to the bathroom in sort of an outhouse situation, but we actually couldn't shower like the entire time because there was something wrong with our shower. So it wasn't like a full week of camp, but we like attempted to shower and there was something wrong, so we just got pelted with like painful cold water. And then they're like, oh, sorry, I guess the showers don't work. So we finally got to shower at like the troop house is what they called it. And it was just like it was bunk beds in an actual like air conditioned nice room with a kitchen. So my camping experience was definitely different than this. So these 3 are together. They're trying to make the best of it. There is actually a musical going on, The Music Man. And Maggie auditions. Her friends don't. They're not really into it, but they are part of it. So they are still spending a lot of time together, and there's kind of a budding romance, sort of, with a boy at the camp, and Maggie. So this is a co-ed camp, but we primarily spend time with the girls, and then Logan, who is like this one guy at the camp. So, I don't know, romance-esque. She says she's not really interested in boys right now, but like, she really wants to like hang out with him. So I would say sort of like, could maybe in the next one, they'll lean into that, I don't know, or Maggie won't have a love interest at all, and it's just like she hasn't really been around a lot of boys. So it's very fun so far. It is reminding me a lot of the Disney Channel original movie. I think it was, no, it wasn't a Disney Channel original movie. It was an actual movie, I think, by Disney called Heavyweights, where it's a group of kids that we follow the new kid initially in that. So it is also about a fat camp, and what happens is that fat camp is purchased by Ben Stiller's character, who turns it into like what they're doing in Camp Sylvania now. So it goes from being like a fun, fat kids can all hang out together, to like, we're gonna work you out, and like all of this stuff. So that's so similar, is the shift in the camp. And they also mentioned popping the blob, and that happens in Heavyweights. I'm 100% sure they have the blob, and it is cut open by this slightly masochistic counselor. So like a lot of this is very, not super similar, but like the setup of like, it was fun, it was nice, and there's one counselor who's been there through it all, Counselor B. She's been here forever, and so she remembers it being different because she also went to camp there. And that is something in Heavyweights, where there is a guy who used to go to camp there, and then he's still there, and he's like, yeah, it used to be more fun, we used to have all this stuff, so like, I'm sorry you're not getting to see the fun stuff. And like, some people remember it being fun and are kind of like cowed into accepting that it's not like a fun time anymore, it's more like just working out all the time. So I loved Heavyweights growing up, and if you could tell, I'm not like a slim person, so I really liked Heavyweights, and I'm really enjoying this. I was never sent to a camp like this, but I've kind of always been sort of bigger. There was a period where I was not, it was a whole thing. I'm not gonna get into that, but this is very fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's making me think of Heavyweights, but there are vampires, which is a huge plus because I also love vampires. So my goal is definitely to finish this today, since I'm only about, like, I mean, I'm halfway through, and it's middle grade, so I should be able to finish it partially during lunch, possibly a little bit after work, just depending. So I will fill you in on my thoughts at the end without spoiling it, but I am really enjoying it so far. Maggie and her friends are great. I love that there's a Girl Scout, and like we have theater stuff, and we have vampires, and the Heavyweights tone of this is just really doing it for me. So I will fill you in when I have updates about the end of this. So I will talk to you later, gremlins. Hey gremlins, we're in the bedroom. Well, it was well after work now. We've been watching these like food challenge videos, so we're watching those just randomly. But I wanted to tell you, I finished Camp Sylvania. This was very cute. The end was sweet. Positive things occur. This is a YA book. But it turns, so this is what's curious. So this ends it in a certain way that is very, very cute. There's a cute moment with Maggie and her mom, and also Maggie and her best friend Nora. But I have the next book already, which I did tell you, and I've decided I'm going to read that next because it's not going to take me very long. It's a little shorter, and it has a co-writer. So this one's by Julie Murphy and Crystal Maldonado, and the other one's just by Julie Murphy, who apparently wrote Dumplin', which I remember watching like the movie for, but I never read the book. This though is interesting because, so on the cover are Nora's here, and Maggie, and I'm not sure if Maggie's previous camp friends are in this or not based on the synopsis, but Logan is the guy that she definitely has a crush on based on the end of the other book, but someone else owns the camp again. So I don't know how that works, because at the end something goes on with ownership at the camp, but in this they say there's a new owner. So it's just interesting. It reminds me a little bit of how, I'm trying to think, well, I guess Wednesday is doing this right now. They're having a different principal every season, I guess. It's kind of making me think of that. These are also making me want to watch the Addams Family Values movies when the kids, they like send Wednesday and Pugsley to camp. So I keep wanting to watch those. So I'm very intrigued. But in this one, they've been teasing werewolves. In the first one, they kept saying like, werewolves, oh, maybe there are werewolves. And this says Moon Madness, it's werewolves. But Nora and Maggie may not be getting super along in this one, because Maggie wants to investigate eerie things that are happening at the camp, and Nora just kind of wants to have fun at camp. So we'll see how this goes. This is not going to take me long, so I'm going to read it next, and then I will read Smile for the Cameras, which Krista picked up for me today, which is very nice of her. She picked that book up for me, and It Devours, which I'm not reading in this video. But I did realize I'm gonna have to renew before I actually read it, but that should be fine because it's an older book. But I'll be reading this one next. I promise, no spoilers, so don't worry about the fact that I'm reading a back-to-back series thing. And I will talk to you later, gremlins. Hi, gremlins. We're in the car. It is 12:20. We're headed to Coyote Moon Vineyards, and normally we would bring a pup with us, but it is too hot. So we're going to try their food because they have a food thing. We're fine. The car, every time we're on this road, because it's a country road.
They have a gourmet taco restaurant.
Yes, so they have gourmet tacos. They have like a wine slushy machine. They have a bunch of stuff. But yeah, again, car's fine. It always thinks we're going off the road because of how badly paved it is out here. But we're headed there. We just didn't bring the pups because it's too hot. They'd be sitting in heat because you can't eat inside. Yeah. But you're under cover. So the only reason I'm not wearing long sleeves is because we'll be under something continuously. Otherwise I'd be wearing my blue sunscreen shirt. But yes, so we're headed to Coyote Moon, and then we have some errands to run. So we'll bring you along for stuff. I'll show you off things. Our GPS is informing us we're almost there. So yeah, I'll show you tacos, I'll show you beverage stuff, and then we'll take you to some of the errands. So I'll probably show them the beer place, but not the grocery stuff, because that's gonna be really fast. So yeah, show you some fun and exciting Coyote Moon Vineyard stuff. Oh, I gotta move. Behold Greek foods and lemonade wine slushy. Behold octopus and shrimp. Tacos. We're both very hot. We are in the car. Chris is buckling up. So there's no indoor dining, so we had to sit. We sat in the shade, so that wasn't bad. I didn't show you my shirt. It says Stay Trashy, and it has a raccoon on it eating. Doesn't he have boba tea? Yeah, he has boba tea and ramen. And I took a photo with Binks. That's the reason I got this. So Binks, one of our cats, looks like a raccoon. So I had to get the shirt because he eats people food. But we showed you the food. So we had octopus tacos, shrimp tacos, and I had like a whipped feta thing. So normally I would have shared the whipped feta with Krista, but it had pistachios in it. And she split the 2 octopus tacos with me. The octopus was really, really good.
Oh, amazing.
And Krista did shrimp for hers. So she also had shrimp tacos. But we're both like incredibly full and warm. So we're letting the AC in the car cool down, and then we have to run our errands real fast. But it was really, really good. We've never had food from Coyote Moon before, I don't think. And we also got baked goods because they have a bakery now. So we bought pastries to eat tomorrow. And probably for the next few days, because I think we bought a lot of pastries. But we're gonna drive. I just wanted to fill you in. The food was very good. My wine slushy was very tasty.
The octopus was amazing.
Yeah, the octopus was really, really good. They were huge.
And it wasn't super chewy. It was just
no, it was really tender. Yeah.
Like, amazing.
But yeah, I gotta get my seatbelt on because we're driving. So I'll talk to you later, gremlins, when I'm less hot. Hi, gremlins. It is so hot. Okay, I'm gonna show you the beers we picked up because I didn't actually bring you in there. They were doing like slushy tasting, so it was easier not to have a camera out. So hold on, let's go to the box. So we each picked out 6. So we have Founder's Porter. That one's Krista's. A Reindeer Breath, which is also stout, but it's like a peppermint chocolate stout. Let's see. Oh, I know she picked this one too. This is All Hallows Treat, which is Imperial Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout. Oh, Peach Kulsch. And it's Stony Yard Brewing Company. So I found 4 of yours.
Show the beautiful kitty.
Hi, Zoop. She's fly hunting. She's very pretty. Alright, so let's see. Is this one also yours? Yes, I picked this one out for her. This is Campfire Tales. It's chocolate marshmallow graham cracker imperial milk stout, which means there's one more of yours in here, I think. This one. And then this is Christmas Morning. If it'll focus. Yeah. There's an imperial milk stout with ginger, cinnamon, honey, vanilla, and coffee. And then these are mine. So I picked out Pollinated Paradise, a honey, blackberry, lavender, fruited sour. A sour, this one's also sour, but this is unicorn farts. And it's pink lemonade glittered sour ale. Then I got Weyerbacher Imperial Pumpkin Ale. I've had this one before, so this is Hudson North Cider Donut. This one's really good. And I've had this one. This is Hudson North Toasted Pumpkin. I like this one too. And then they had Blake's Hard Cider Company. I like some of their stuff, and it's key lime pie. So those are my 6. But we're gonna go relax in the air conditioning and probably each have one of these, but it's so hot outside. It's like muggy and warm and just unpleasant. All right, talk to you later, gremlins, when we have cooled off. Hello, gremlins. It is a little after 10. We've definitely cooled off. So what else did we do? We watched a bunch of YouTube after filming. You were almost killed by pastries.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
So the pastries we picked up at Coyote Moon, 2 of them. So we got a few, but we got a cannoli and a lobster tail. And I was gonna eat the lobster tail and Krista was gonna eat the cannoli, and I gave her part of the lobster tail because it was big. She took 1 bite of the cannoli and realized that there's almond extract in it. And then I like had her check the lobster tail too, and they both did. And then I went to eat the lobster tail and I was like, oh yeah, this is totally almonds, because oddly enough, at least to me, almond extract and stuff smells like flowers, and the whole thing smelled like a bouquet of flowers. So I could eat it, but Krista could not. And she had to take Benadryl because her throat started to itch from just like 1 bite of the cannoli. And it wasn't even a big bite. You took like a little bite. And so we're hoping that the other pastries are okay. The other ones aren't filled. They're just like a regular pastry. One's a croissant, one's a chocolate croissant, then 2 little beignets. Okay, I thought so. I was trying to remember. So we have those for tomorrow, so we will see. I made, before the pastries, I made steaks for dinner with this like chimichurri sauce that Krista picked out. Yeah, so that was good. And then we watched Brandon Routh's, that's how you say his last, Brandon Roth. I never remember how to say his name. Superman Returns. We're not seeing the Superman movie this weekend. We were going to, but it's expensive to go to the movies, and also we'd be gone for a while because it's long. So we just decided we'll hold off and go at a later date or when it's on streaming. So yeah, so we watched that instead. Now we've just watched the 2 new Dexter Resurrection episodes. It's interesting that he's in New York City, and I feel like he somehow has limitless money, and I am confused a little by the limitless money. Like, he got a new car.
Yeah, it's entertaining though.
It is entertaining. I have to not, this happens with a lot of shows where I'm like, where do they have the money for this?
Yeah.
So I just have to like pretend limitless money is a thing. Yeah, I have to not think about the fact that limitless money is not a thing. I would like limitless money if someone wants to give me limitless money. If we could write into my storyline, author that controls my life, Catherine now has limitless money. That would be great. But we're gonna get ready for bed. I gotta get my sleeves on. You don't ever really see those, but I need to put those on. I also realized I need to charge the battery in this, and I need to grab my iPad that I left downstairs because I was watching YouTube while I made dinner. So we're gonna go to bed. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye! Good morning, gremlins, from Goose and her Bridgerton teacup full of coffee. It's mostly creamer. So on Sundays, we watch Dollar House, and Krista and I, she's over there, normally have coffee. Goose was continuing to put her head or her paw in Krista's coffee, so we just made her a little cup, and she's making a huge mess. She does this every time. But now she gets her own little cup. And then the boys are here, mostly because they're pastries, and hopefully these don't kill Krista. So we have beignets and croissants. But yeah, so we're gonna eat those. I also have coffee. Sorry about the cough. I think I need to actually pick up the meds that I take for that. But yeah, so please enjoy Goose and this cup of coffee. And we're gonna watch this, have some breakfast, and then we have some errands to run today. I also have a book update for you, but you're gonna get that a lot later. All right, talk to you in a bit, gremlins. Hello. So I inadvertently dressed like Pugsley to run errands. Even have black pants on. We just had like the worst to-go experience ever. So We went to this like local place to get sushi because Krista really wanted sushi. And we're like, okay, we just wanted to go order. It wasn't a huge order. And they're like, okay, it'll be 20-25 minutes. We waited for almost an hour. And then finally, like, because we kept asking, like, is there an update? What's going on? Because like people who were seated after we placed to go order got all their food. Like sushi, hot food, all their stuff. And Krista was finally like, can someone just like let me know what's going on? And they kept being like, oh, 10 more minutes. Oh, sorry, 10 more minutes. So we finally got it. Everything looks not great. And the guy came out and talked to us and he was like, sorry, my sushi chef quit, so I'm just doing my best. And we were like, why are you doing sushi then if he quit? Like, you could just say like, no sushi today, sorry. So like, he gave us a gift card. We have no clue how much is on this gift card, which is nice, but the sushi looks weird. So I'm changing because I can't wear a white shirt when we're eating sushi, but I'm gonna show you the sushi. It just all looks very small, and like some of the stuff just looks funny. Like, not like make you sick funny, but like truly he really didn't know what was going on. I just, like, if your sushi chef quit, I understand that people order sushi at this place, but it's also a hibachi restaurant. I feel like you could have just been like, sorry, we're not doing sushi today. Like, I don't think anyone would be super mad, annoyed probably, but like they have a pretty big menu. So if they just told us they weren't doing sushi, we would have either ordered something else or just gotten food somewhere else. I don't know, just very weird, but I gotta change. I will show you the sushi. I will be right back. This is the sushi. This wasn't supposed to have wasabi mayo on it, but like, can you see there's like weird chunks? I think this is like fish crumble. I forget what it's called. Like, no idea. This looks fine. This, I don't know what this is. This doesn't look like any of the pictures Krista showed me, so I'm not even sure that's what we ordered. But yeah, so this is this. Yeah, it's just very odd. But we're gonna eat it and hope that it's okay. So I will talk to you post food gremlins, give you a small update. Hello, I changed into my PJ top, which if you haven't seen it, is this very cute like Mickey with ghosts thing. I'm still at the Nook. I haven't moved yet because I had my camera over here, so that's why I have this fun, weird lighting. Krista is with the pups, which that's not a good shot either, but she's over there. So the sushi was not great. It was, I would say it wasn't even as good as when we got Sam's Club sushi when that place first opened.
It's accurate. I mean, the rolls were not accurate. They were not properly done.
They weren't the rolls we ordered.
They weren't the ones we ordered. So we paid all this money for 2 different rolls that featured scallop, and
if there was scallop, it was cut into really, really tiny pieces. And then the third roll was like, we could tell he didn't maybe know the names or how to make them, because he did say he didn't really know what he was doing. So I was like, okay, these two at least kind of look like what Krista told me we were getting. The third roll we had looked absolutely nothing like anything Krista showed me. It had like bruleed fish on top, which we like never order. And then there were just like a couple pieces had random mayo on them, but not spicy mayo, just like
globs of
mayo.
Like,
it was so
mayo.
Strange. And like, it just looked weird. And then when we like pushed the, like, cause I went to look at the actual roll, it just looked like a California roll that he put stuff on top of. And we're like, this is definitely not right. And it just looked weird. Like everything about that one looked weird. So we didn't eat one of them at all. Cause we were like, we don't know what this is. Yeah, we just didn't want to tempt fate. Now, admittedly, the ones we ate, everything looked okay on them. Like the fish looked okay. The inside stuff looked okay. It just really was not what we ordered. Like it was either a version of what we ordered. Like the tops at least looked recognizable, even if the insides didn't. It just like was not worth it. We have no clue what's on that gift card I mentioned. He like just handed Krista a gift card with no mention of how much was on it, just like apologized, gave her the gift card. So yeah, so this was just like not, and we've ordered from them before. That's what was so strange. We've ordered from them a number of times. We've eaten there a number of times, and like we have gotten to-go orders. Like we even recently got a to-go order from them and it was fine. Now again, he did say their sushi chef quit, but I just don't understand why if your sushi chef quit and you don't really know how to make the rolls, just don't do it. Like just tell us sushi isn't happening today. Make up something if you don't want to say someone quit, even though he told us he quit. Like just say like, oh, we're sorry, we can't do big sushi orders today, even though ours wasn't very big. Or like just say, oh, we're really only doing hibachi today, you could order a hot food to go or something. So I don't know, it was not worth it. And it was not great. So yeah, so soon we're gonna work on a project that involves building a contraption for our trash can. and the pups will have to be fed and the things that go along with feeding them. And yeah, so we're just gonna hang out for a little bit and relax. And oh, I'll give you that book update at some point because I read half of Camp Sylvania Moon Madness last night, so that I don't have the book. I could just tell you, just pretend the book is here. I'm not editing it in, I'm not doing that, I don't feel like it, because I have the other one in my backpack. But it does follow primarily Nora and Maggie, which I already read the description to you. I was wrong, characters from the first book do come back besides Logan. So we do see some people from the other one that I were afraid weren't in this, but they're not being given as big a part. So Logan is like the primary person in Maggie's storyline, and then Nora is spending a lot of time with Claire, who is her roommate, and it also turns out the daughter of the new person who's running the camp. But what's odd is Captain B, who I think I called Counselor B when I was describing the other book, Birdie, she's in the book, but she's not like running the camp, she's just like working with Luna, the woman who is running the camp. But it seems like Birdie still owns it. She just like has someone there running all the events, and she just is there assisting, which is interesting. So there is a bunch of like teases about werewolves because this is called Moon Madness. They mention the moon water in the description. So if you use this moon water, it like can change your life. And Nora uses it and it like clears up her skin, it straightens her teeth. And she's like, wow, this is so incredible. And she's like feeling more confident. So some of the moon water thing I think has to do with the werewolf part. There's also been a cabin was slashed at, so werewolf-y. But I'm not gonna get into too much of like what happened with that. Just there's hints at werewolves, but also like the previous book was hinting that werewolves would show up. This one is different because it's told in alternating perspectives. So Nora gets a chapter, then Maggie gets a chapter, and vice versa, like on and on and on. And that would explain why there's a co-writer. So someone is writing Maggie and someone is writing Nora. So yeah, I'll give you a bigger update later. Just that's where I am right now. I will talk to you later, gremlins, after we digest a little bit, and I'll show you the contraption we built. It's like a cabinet for your trash can. Krista showed it to me, but we have to make it. So I'm gonna go talk to you in a bit, gremlins. Behold, my wife, builder of furniture. So this is a trash can holder, which I believe she can show you. That's the drawer. Then this is how the bin, we're not moving it all the way because the only 10 gallon that we could find has a very wide lid, like top, it doesn't have a lid. But this is the fancy container that can partially open right now. We're gonna have to look for a slightly different trash can, we guess. But how was your experience building this contraption? A million thumbs down. So at one point, you had your hand like in the door while it was cracked open, right?
It's the only way to line it up to put in the screws.
Yeah, it just like has
a tilting
horrible directions. Chloe was assisting. The others were on the couch. But yeah, so it's built. It just took a really long time and the direction sucked. So yeah, so we got to move it into the kitchen, but I thought I would show it to you now where the light's really nice and you could see it. So we're gonna do that. That was the evening. Also, we had beverages. Krista is drinking a peach something. She's cleaning up. What's a peach? Kolsch? It basically tastes like this other peach beer we bought ages ago. And then I am drinking Pollinator Paradise Honey Blackberry Lavender Fruited Sour from Beer Tree Brew. It's fine, it's really hoppy, but it's okay. But we're gonna go. We gotta clean this up and move. All right, Bane says bye for now. Good morning, gremlins. I have a big update for you. Also, I am wearing a shirt that might make some of you chuckle, but let's get to the book first. So, I finished Camp Sylvania Moon Madness last night, and this was so cute. So, I will say, in the first book, the plot really focuses on, like, making new friends and learning how to kind of survive without your safety net at camp or in a new situation. So in that one, we are following Maggie, and I did go over this already, but Maggie is adjusting to not being where she expected to be. She's thrown into an unfamiliar situation, and she doesn't have her best friend to rely on. Now in this one, Nora, I already mentioned, has come to camp with Maggie because there's like a voucher, there's this whole thing. So I did a bit of a recap of this for you, but what happens is Maggie and Nora expect to be camping like in the same bunk together, and in some sort of situation that I can't explain to you because it will reveal something, they wind up in different bunks. So they're now not able to spend the entire camp together. And they're like, oh, we'll still see each other all the time. It'll still be okay. And that doesn't exactly work. So the two of them are sort of dealing with how friendships evolve as you're getting older. They're about to start 8th grade, and so they have different interests. So Nora is more, I will say, girly girl. So actually this would kind of work. So Nora reminds me a little bit of my sister at that age, in a good way. So my sister was always more into like makeup and clothes and like a certain personal appearance, and I was not at that age. My sister and I are about 6 years apart, but I would say I was more of a Maggie. Like, I wanted to wear like utilitarian clothes. A lot of my clothes were baggy, or like clothes I thought were cool were odd. Like, I was obsessed with my red bowling team polo shirt, and I wore it all the freaking time, even when I wasn't bowling. And it's a red polo shirt. I looked like I worked at Target, and I love that polo shirt to death. I just like, my clothing style was very like, is it comfortable? Do I like wearing it? A lot of the time is it black? So I totally get it. So just like as a dynamics, I would say Maggie would be more of like your typical tomboy sort of. And then Nora would be your like more girly girl. But they're both excited for camp. They're both excited to spend time together. But the camp is different this year. It is more like natural based. And the campers actually are told they can't use any unnatural products and are provided with moon water, which is in the description. Now, the issue is, this moon water does some curious things, and as the story evolves, we learn the moon water is perhaps a touch dangerous. So we do get characters I mentioned that come back. So Logan is back. We get new characters. So this is Logan, and then this is Claire, who winds up being Nora's roommate, and Claire is Luna's daughter, and Luna is the person running the camp. We also get a confirmation about Captain B, aka Birdie, that I absolutely loved. So this was just very cute. There are werewolves. It is a lot of like, how do you navigate different friendships all connecting with each other, or different friends and different types of friends. So like, what is a best friend versus like a summer friend, or stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this one. I really liked the alternating perspectives. Now, I did love the vampires in the first one, but I will say this one, with the dual like narratives happening, I actually may have enjoyed this one even more, just because we got to see different sides of camp. We got to see insights into different characters and how they were responding to everything, whereas the first one, it's Maggie. We are focused on Maggie and then Maggie's bunkmates. So did super enjoy this one. This one is cute and short. It's a little shorter than the other one. I feel like I went through this one a little faster, which could be wrong. It just like, this was a little bit shorter. But we're on to the next read. Though I will say, I'm wearing this oversized Twilight shirt from Five Below. I did not watch, read, or even like, actually, I did read the first one. So ages ago, when the Twilight books came out, I did read the first one. And if you have watched my Twilight videos, you will know that I pointed out I did not read any more past the first one because I was already reading the Sookie Stackhouse books. I was too young to be reading those books, mind you, but like, I found one, like, back in the day, there were paperback book deals at places like Borders, which no longer exist, and we had a Borders, and I got like 2 Sookie Stackhouse books for $5, and the covers were really cool, and it was about vampires. And in my brain, I did not think about the fact that perhaps an adult vampire book would be a bit sexy. As a child, I was in like 7th grade, so I was already reading those, and so Twilight felt kind of juvenile in comparison, which would make sense. This was actually written for a young audience, whereas Sookie Stackhouse was not. But I just didn't read any more of them. Then last year, my wife was like, oh, that would be really fun. Like, I own them. You should read them. So I did this whole like reading all the Twilight books, like massive double vlog thing, where I read the original series of books, like the original set, and then I went on to read Life and Death in a different vlog and Midnight Sun in a different vlog. So I wound up reading all of the Twilight books before the end of last year, and it was just like a fun time. My wife and I watched all the movies together because I hadn't seen them, and so it was just fun. It was a very fun time. I did silly photos where I covered myself in glitter for one of them. I did some Bella inspired outfits. But yeah, so it was just a fun time. My hair's gonna do something weird because I fluffed it. But this was $5. at Five Below, and I could get it in like oversized, and I was like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna buy it. So I'm more wearing this to commemorate the fact that I did all those vlogs than I am that I'm a fan of Twilight. Please note, my favorite of the books was Midnight Sun, which probably says something about me, mostly that while I was reading it, I was like, this is how I assumed Edward behaved, and this is why I don't think Bella should be with anyone. Because Midnight Sun is incredibly long. It is only the first book told from Edward's perspective, and he is a murderous fiend. But there you go. This is to commemorate vlogs I did, more so than the fandom of Twilight itself. The movies were fun though, and I really like the soundtrack. The soundtrack for those is incredible. But moving on to the next read, which you kind of already know because I've teased it a few times, is Smile for the Cameras. I love that this has like this sticker on it like you'd get at a used bookstore. So this is Smile for the Cameras, which I did read you a synopsis of, but this one has a longer one. So I'll read you this one. Yeah, I read you the short one. Maybe I will only read you that one again. No, I'll give you the movie. So, full description. An actress desperate to reclaim her fame must survive the real life plot of the horror movie that made her famous in the psychological, twisted, locked room thriller. 20 years ago, Ella Winters was the it girl. She made a name for herself in Hollywood and throughout America as the sole survivor in the cult classic slasher Grad Night. Oh, like prom night. Anyway. But the real horror is what happened when the cameras weren't rolling. Something terrible that Ella and her co-stars agreed never to speak of again. Shortly after the movie's premiere, Ella disappeared from the acting scene under the pretense of caring for her ailing mother, hoping to ease her guilty mind with a quiet life out of the spotlight. Since her mother's passing, Ella has decided to return to the silver screen, with the cast and crew of Grad Night in the process of filming a reunion documentary. Ella has an express ticket back into Hollywood's good graces. Weighed down by the secret she's been keeping all these years, Ella apprehensively makes the trip to the original set, a cabin in rural Tennessee, to reunite with her castmates for the first time in more than a decade, when the actors begin to meet the most gruesome fates as the characters the same gruesome fates as the characters they originally played, falling victim to someone dressed as the Grad Night villain. It's clear their secret is out. Now the question is, can the final girl survive one last nightmare? This feels like a mashup of like Prom Night and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and like, I think it's gonna be a fun time. I am excited. I don't know that anyone has read this yet that I watched, but a ton of people have mentioned it and I just like lucked into getting it. I'm hoping some other holds I have in its library come in today, because we keep running errands and then realizing we forgot something. So we have to go back out today to get like 2 things that we just completely forgot about. So we'll be out anyway. So I'm hoping I can get by the library, and fingers crossed that my random assortment of holds for a video that I'm doing not next, but soon are in. So yeah, I do have to get ready for work. So I'm already like in my office and I gotta get going, but I will fill you in when I can. I'm gonna try and read a little bit during lunch. I don't know that I have time before work, we'll see, but I will talk to you when I have an update on Smile for the Cameras Gremlins, because I am very excited. Hello Gremlins. Okay, I am here with an update for you on Smile for the Cameras. I am enjoying it. This feels very popcorn thriller, so it's like easy to read, pretty quick reveals for a couple of things. But so I did read a hunk during lunch, so I've gotten through more of this than I anticipated. So the story itself is a touch, like the action that we have mentioned is slow. So in the description it does mention that when the actors begin to meet the same gruesome fates as the characters they originally played, falling victim to someone dressed as the Grad Night villain, it's clear their secret is out. That still has not happened, and I am pretty far in. So we've gotten the build up to it. So I've hit the point where like those events are like ramping up. So we've gotten to the point where I know it's going to happen, but I am a ways in. Like, I read a ton of this. I also did actually have time before work, so I read a lot more than I anticipated. But I'm like a decent chunk. I'm more than halfway through, and we're like getting to that point. There was a reveal about this like secret they've been keeping. We did learn kind of what that was. We haven't gotten details, but we have learned sort of these 2 events that are tied to the original movie. We've gotten some details on those, so we kind of understand what those are, but we still haven't gotten the full reveal for one of them. Is it in the synopsis? Hold on. Okay, So the something terrible that they've agreed to never speak of again. We've gotten a hint at that, but not like the full explanation of it. So we know something happened that was pretty major. And then there was something with a cast member or someone working on the movie that like something happened to them in a less major way. We've gotten a lot of the setup for this reunion that they're doing and why everyone is there, kind of. We've gotten the why for a few people where it kind of sounds like none of them really wanted to do this, but they've all been brought there through some sort of convincing. And it has been interesting. So I love a book about like the production of a movie. I really enjoyed Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, mostly because I just enjoyed like reading about them making the movie and like the stuff tied into the movie. Like that was fun. That book technically is a horror, I believe, but like it didn't super feel like a horror while I was reading it. It felt more thrillery also. So like this fits kind of that mold for me. It and Horror Movie seem and feel a little bit similar. So like I am enjoying it because of that. Like I'm just like, oh, this is very fun. Like this is cool. This is interesting. Like I'm just enjoying watching the process and watching our main character Ella sort of contend with the strain of keeping the secret and wondering if everyone is going to keep it, if it's going to come out, then dealing with like having to be here and not wanting to be here but knowing she has to do this reunion. And then now we've gotten to the point where like things have ramped up. So we're on, I don't want to call it the downhill, but we're on the part where like her having to live through the production, like her having to live through the events of the movie are going to happen. So I'm interested to see how that goes, but also I feel like the writing is quick. So the writing is keeping me engaged and wanting to read more, but based on the synopsis, I would have thought the living through the nights of the movie, like the events of the movie, would happen at least a little bit sooner than it has, just because it's interesting to me that it is kind of so far into the book. Now, part of the reason for that, I think, is because we're getting then moments. So it's set between then, now, and then pieces of the script. So you get to read what occurred during the filming of some scenes back then or stuff that was going on behind the scenes. You're with the actors during the original filming. You're then back with the actors during the current filming for the reunion, and then you're getting script pages so you know how kill scenes went, how other events went in the script. So that is interesting, and that may be why, because the script pages do take up, they're pretty hefty sections when they do appear. They're normally like 5 to 6, if not 5 to 10 pages, and some of the chapters that aren't script are only like 2 or 3 pages. So it really does add length in parts of the book. So I'm enjoying them. I love reading a script. I also am just enjoying the like then versus now, seeing the dynamics of the characters. So I am really enjoying it. I'm having a fun time, but I feel like maybe some people would think it was slow. I, again, am having fun with it. I think it's a fun time, but like the synopsis has already told me something that's not even happening until, well, I feel is pretty close to the end of the book, because we'll have to have the events and then the like the culmination of everything. Like everything will have to tie up. We have to get the denouement. I always forget if that's the, like, we have to understand why this is happening. Like, we haven't gotten the, and this is why it's happening. So we need time for, like, the live through the movie to happen, and then the this is why I'm making you live through the movie moment. And I just don't, I'm surprised that it is only this much of the book. So, yeah. I am curious to read the next, like, third? I think I'm, like, a third. Yeah, I think I only have, like, a third left. So yeah, I am very, very interested to see how this goes. I'm gonna try and finish it tonight, just because I would really like to get this done, because I am curious. I want to know. Also, Krista is actually picking some stuff up for me at the library. I may have one hold in, just one, possibly more, I don't know. And I had a couple books to return, so I'm actually returning the Camp Sylvania books already. I took photos with them, and I just was like, oh, I should get these back, because I just like to get books back if I can. I also, who knows, there could be other people who need those. There could be other, is it Spook Club? I literally keep forgetting. Spookworm, there you go. There could be other Spookworm people in upstate New York who need that book. I don't know. So I returned them. They're being returned by my wife. So then she can pick up my holds. because I already have some other stuff out. So I'm trying to like limit how many things I have out at one time, just so I don't have a giant stack of library books right now, since I kind of did that in June and I had so many books out. So yeah, I'm just trying to, I also have a lot of holds coming in. So I'm just trying to get stuff back when I can. So hopefully I can finish this evening. Know exactly what happens. We do still have errands to run. I did check, though Krista is mowing. Our work days end at different times because it's summer. Her office does like a thing. So she'll be done way earlier than I will be. So she's gonna mow while I'm finishing up the day. And then we're gonna run out. The running out should be quick. We just have to pick up literally a couple of things that we just forgot to get. So we're gonna do that and then be home for dinner and stuff. So yeah, I will update you gremlins when we get to that point, like when I get done with the book, because I feel like that'll be a good tie-up, and then maybe I'll know what I'm reading next, because I kind of need the library holds to determine that, because I had an idea, but I don't know if that book is in yet, so I may be calling an audible and reading a different book, so we'll see. I don't know, but I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I have finished. Smile for the cameras. Smile. Hello, gremlins. It is a little bit after work, and I can successfully inform you that I have finished Smile for the cameras. So that actually had a really solid, like, did I read something wrong? Am I losing my mind moment? I'm not going to tell you what it was, but like something got revealed and I was like, what? Wait. And I was like flipping through the book frantically to figure out if I had missed something. But no, it was really good. There are a few different reveals in it, which are fun. My hair just wants to do whatever it wants right now. But I really enjoyed the ending. I thought it was solid. It is one of those like kind of slow going. I thought it was enjoyable, so I'm not really saying it was like super slow, but like once we get to the action, it's like boom, 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 event, like things are just continuously happening. I will still say I want to comparably say that if you liked horror movie, you would like this. Even though I think technically they're different genres, I still think you would like this. So check it out. I would say read it. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. It was a quick read. So Smile for the cameras. A win. Now, my holds did come in. A number of holds. Some of which are not for this video, but it was all the same series. So this is kind of a teaser for a video I'm doing later this month, beginning of August. I don't know. But if you don't know, I grew up reading the Babysitter's Club and I was obsessed with them. Like, I have a Claudia doll. She's in my office. I will show you her before this video is over, I promise. But like, I was very into Babysitter's Club and American Girl. I was into Babysitter's Club first because their books were super cheap at the half-price bookstore when I was growing up, and my parents used to take me there all the time, and I could get like a bajillion books for not a lot of money because they were like 25 cents a copy. So I had so many Babysitter's Club books. And one of the things I loved were the Babysitter's Club mystery books, which are like a different series. They're an offshoot, so all the same characters, but just mysteries instead of just babysitting. So I'd requested a number of them, kind of at random, and they had one that had vampires. So the next book I'll be reading is Babysitter's Club mystery number 15, Christy and the Vampires. And this one is the perfect follow-up. I knew I was gonna cough. So this is the description. So it says, America's favorite babysitters are detectives too. That I think is on all of them, but this says a TV movie is being shot in Stony Brook. Derek Masters, a child actor and friend of the BSC, has a big role in the film, and Christy has been hired to take care of him on the set. From the beginning, the movie Little Vampires seems to have problems, accidents, mysterious letters, and rivalry between the two young stars are adding up to big trouble. Can Christy and the BSC save the show? So this is a movie and vampires. So it ties into both Camp Sylvania and Smile for the cameras. So this is very fun. I'm excited. I had no idea this was about a movie. I had no clue. But I'll be reading this one next. It's so short that I will definitely finish it very quickly. So I will let you know that I'm reading another Babysitter's Club book after that I won't give you the description of, but it mentioned that there were campfires, ghost stories, and summer vacations are the best. And this one is the Babysitter's Club Super Special number 8, Babysitters at Shadow Lake. Again, not reading the description, but based on the fact that I was reading Camp Sylvania and I saw this was available, I snagged it, especially because it said ghost stories and summer camp. So this will be my last read of the vlog, but don't worry, reading this little one first. So yeah, I gotta go though. We gotta run errands. Krista was just still mowing, so I thought I would update you really fast before we left. So yeah, I will go. I have something I want to show you later tonight, so you'll get an update, but it won't involve like books. So yeah, so I'll talk to you later. Goose is also looking very cute over there. Looking goosey, giving herself a bath. All right, I'm gonna go, Gremlins. I will talk to you later tonight with the fun goofy thing I want to show you. Hello, Gremlins. We're back from errand running. We got Krista some cool sleep shirts, and we picked up a free ramen that she had from the unfortunate poke bowl incident, which I'm not going to get into because we're eating, but it's another vlog. It's really unfortunate. But the reason you are here is because since I'm wearing this Twilight shirt, I have this beverage. Ta-da! Krista's already eating, so I'm gonna try not to film her so she can enjoy her Chipotle. But this is Dew Claw Brewing Company Sour Me Unicorn Farts. It's a pink lemonade glittered sour ale. And I felt like a glitter beverage worked very well with my Twilight shirt. So let's see how glittery this actually is. Is it glittery? It's about to explode. Please don't explode. Do we see any glitter? Glitter. Glitter. I see bubbles. I'm not seeing any glitter, which is disappointing. I mean, on the can it looks shiny, but I don't see glitter. I am indeed comparing this to the Cracker Barrel beverage I got for my birthday that was like full of edible glitter.
It's in the bottom.
Maybe? I'm still not seeing any. There's a cat hair. Oh, this definitely smells like a nail. Yeah, I don't really see any glitter. It's definitely bubbly. Wishing and maybe? I don't know that it's glittery, folks. I have been betrayed. Dear Gremlins, I only got this because I thought it had glitter in it. I also thought the can was cute. Yeah, I'm not seeing any glitter. It's kind of shimmery. It just looks shimmery, but not glittery. All right, well that was a little bit of a letdown.
Do you want me to take a sip?
Yeah, you can take a sip, and then I'll take a sip. I don't know that I'm gonna like it. It's like an ale, I think.
It smells weird.
It smells like a beer. Neither one of us super likes beer. Some beers. Krista likes a stout. I just don't know. Oh,
Tastes
no.
like a watered down beer.
Oh.
Down. Sorry, Chloe.
Nah. It's fine. It tastes like if someone took like lemonade mix, watered it down, and added it to like a not very good beer. It's fine, I guess. It's not very good. This also is not like a themed cup. But yeah, that was a letdown. I was hoping for lots of glitter. But I'm gonna eat my random ramen now. So I will talk to you probably tomorrow, Gremlins.
Oh, you're showing your ramen.
Oh, here, I'll show it to you in the bag. Beware for angling. Bane also jumped up on the nook, was told to get down, and then jump back up. This is it in the bag. There's a little egg and some seaweed and stuff, and that's the broth. So I have to assemble it because it was a to-go. But I'm gonna eat. So I will talk to you later, Gremlins. Hello, Gremlins. It's my lunch break, and I might actually sound a little hoarse. I'm wearing this very fun shirt that I like never wear because it's so white. It says Ghoul Vibes Only with a skull. It's from Old Navy. It's kind of old. But yeah, so it's my lunch break. Normally I don't wind up filming in here during my lunch breaks very often. But today has been a very bonkers work day. I'm not going to get into it, though I may have been listening to some very loud screamo music because I was very grouchy. And yeah, and I was also, so this is a hot mess. I was supposed to go to lunch like 2 hours ago, and there was a whole kerfuffle with like people out and like all of this stuff going on. And so Krista literally came home for lunch, and I was just gonna like eat with her. And I kept having to deal with stuff, so I couldn't even leave my office, and I was stuck there for 2 hours. So I'm taking lunch way later than normal, but I still get a lunch break because I hadn't had it yet. So I really just read, because like Krista made me a sandwich because I was like, oh, I should be down pretty soon, I'm just finishing something up. That didn't happen. So I ate a sandwich 2 hours ago. She made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I had that just like very quickly and then had to go back to doing stuff. But it was a lot of stuff that was like out of my control, or like too much stuff at once. So like I was jumping between a bunch of different things, and like all of it was urgent, and then people were requesting things that were not possible. So it was just like a lot of me being like, we cannot do that right now, handle it, and like trying to like explain to people like, no, that's not possible right now, no, I can't do that right now, hi, I'm already doing this, like so many things. It was just a whole thing. But yeah, so I listened to some I think early 2000s screamo music to center myself. So during my lunch break though, I have been able, because I started this before work and it's super short, but I did finish Christie and the Vampires, and this was so fun. It actually gets kind of dangerous. So I'd read you the back of this, and like the accidents that are happening on set are wild. And what's interesting about this is, I think because it's a mystery, they do this because they don't really do it in the books. They have sections where it's like Christy is still telling us a story, but we like jump to a different babysitter who's doing something that's like related to this. So there's a little girl dressed as a witch on the front because she, oh my gosh, what is her name? I'm gonna forget her name. It's on here, hold on. Oh my gosh, wait. Oh, too much. Charlotte? I think it's Charlotte. No, Charlotte is not this kid. Claire. It's Claire. So this is Claire. Claire develops vampire phobia because like her brothers, or yeah, I think it's her brothers, are like, vampires are so scary, whoa. And she gets really scared of vampires, but they're filming a vampire movie called Little Vampires. And so she's just like freaked out to go. And so this is actually something that happens near the end of the book, and I won't explain what it is, but it was so cute. She was dressed up like a witch, and it was adorable. But yeah, so the things that are happening on set are actually very dangerous. Like this kid, Derek, that Christy is babysitting, could actually be very injured in some of them. And I was like, what? There's even an arrest? Like, I was like, this is baffling to me. But so this was like wildly fun. So it was just cute and fun and short. And it was them on a movie set. We got Christy, we got a lot of Claudia, which was delightful because I love Claudia. But it was very, very like vintage babysitter kind of chaos, actually. I had forgotten that these mystery ones can sometimes get a little intense, even though like as a kid I'd be like, someone got arrested? Like I would just be shocked. But they do try and solve the mystery. The babysitters aren't the only one. So Charlotte and Jesse's younger sister, Jessie is one of the babysitters, in case you didn't know, also tries to help solve the mystery. So there's a lot of like people trying to solve it using deductive skills. Claudia loves Nancy Drew, so she's like trying to act like Nancy Drew a bit and figure stuff out. But the other super fun thing about these, I can tell my voice is going, is there's these old like ads. So there's an entire like book promotion for the loyal fans due to 100 million copies of books in print. She's doing like a Babysitters Remember, which they kind of do in the original TV series for this. They do like them reminiscing. There's a list of the mystery books and you can order them. But the ones that I think are super fun are like, you can join the fan club. And I had this mystery game that they're talking about. I totally had it. I had the whole game. And so I was like, oh, I had that game. And then in the back, they mentioned the video club, and you could get the VHS tapes. And apparently you could like keep them for 10 days and decide if you wanted them or not. And I'm just like baffled by this. I'm just like, what? So because I was a kid and these had already been out, I could never do any of the ads. I mean, I still can't, but even as a kid, I couldn't do them, but I totally wanted to all the time. But super cute. It's definitely helped my mood, even though it hasn't helped my voice. And then moving on, this is the next book I'm going to read, though I did get a notification that I have a hold-in at the library, which is exciting. So hopefully I can pick that up tomorrow and I will read that after this. This is a chunkier Babysitters Club book, so this is super special number 8. And it's Babysitters at Shadow Lake. And so the description of this is, Christy's rich stepfather has invited all the babysitters to his family's cabin on beautiful Shadow Lake. What a way to start off the summer. At the lake, there's water skiing, cute boys, plenty of kids to babysit for, and even a mystery. The babysitters don't know where to begin. They just hope the fun never ends. So see, there's a mystery in this too, so that's fun. But this is cute. Let's see what's in this. Let's see what little stuff is in the back, since I was already showing you stuff. There's always an order form for books in the back because you could like send away for them. Then, oh, there was a student planner and a date book. These I feel like have less. Yeah, and then this is, you can just order paperbacks. Though it looks like before someone donated this, they pulled out 2 of the pages. So though, the charm bracelet. So someone actually submitted the charm bracelet stuff. I wonder if they actually got it. Because there's no picture and there's no ad for it. So someone totally pulled it out, and I'm sure it was before they donated it, because people just like donate these to libraries. But, or someone borrowed it from the library and took it out. But who knows. But that's so cute. I would have loved a babysitter charm bracelet growing up. Like, I would have been obsessed. But I'm gonna read this one. Maybe I'll do some reading with Claudia later this week. Are there photos in here? There's like pictures. That's so fun. Okay, I'm excited to read this, but after my work day / probably not till tomorrow before work, who knows. I think we're doing a house project. Oh, there's like, oh, just stuck on the book. We're doing a house project later tonight. I think Krista wanted to paint. So I have a little time left on my lunch, so I'm gonna finish. The other thing I did was I put on Bob's Burgers while I was reading to like decompress. So I'm watching Heartbreak Hotel-Halloween, which is a fun episode. I know I've said fun like 4,000 times, but in this one, Bob donates blood and Louise has a Halloween candy vendetta. And there's a woman who is trying to summon the spirit of her boyfriend who died on Halloween, so she can send his soul to hell for leaving her at the party, even though he died. She thinks he cheated on her. He didn't. But yeah, so I've had that on, so I'm gonna finish that because I only have a couple minutes left. I just paused so I could film this. And then, yeah, I'll probably start this tonight, though I think I'm painting tonight. Possibly attempting to use this new cooking gadget we got. I don't know. But yeah, but I gotta go. I should also get more water because my office is warm and my throat hurts. So, yeah, the perils of screamo music when you're annoyed. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later. I am so glad that they had this one. This one was cute. There was a Halloween one, as an aside, but I couldn't request it. Like, it kept saying it was in the system and it wasn't. So it just kept causing a glitch. So this was a fun time. But yeah, so I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I maybe have a voice. We'll see. But yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get back to work. Hello, gremlins. This is gonna be a speedy little recap because it is the end of my lunch break and I need to get back to work. But I finished Babysitters at Shadow Lake. This was very cute. These like big special editions are always cute because you get more than one character. We didn't get a lot of Claudia, though she did make a very cool boat for this boat show that they wound up entering. Christy was really focused on convincing Watson to like get this cabin, to like keep the cabin at Shadow Lake. So that was a lot of her plot. We actually got David, Michael, and Karen in this as entries, which was interesting because we normally don't get the siblings. And we also got Sam. So Sam was in here because Sam has a crush on Stacy. So a lot of Stacy's plot was about Sam. It's a lot of like puppy love, like him picking on her, that kind of thing. Then Mallory was really only in it to talk about how awful the bugs were because the poor thing was being attacked by bugs the entire book. Jessie felt like she was maybe cheating on her boyfriend in New York City, so there was like boy drama in that because she met a guy. What else? I feel like, so Dawn was trying to solve the mystery of Shadow Lake and kept insisting there was a sea monster, and we did get some of that mystery. There's an island, there's something mysterious that happened on that island. So we got that. What else? Stacy was the Sam stuff. Marianne was just like around the kids a bit, so Marianne's plot wasn't like huge. It was really just her babysitting. Let's see. I feel like that hit everyone. I think Marianne, Dawn, Stacy, Claudia, Mallory, Jessie, Christy. Yeah, I think we're good. It was a fun time. There are little handwritten sections that are supposed to be part of the diary that they're giving to Watson to convince him to keep the cabin that he's being gifted by his aunt and uncle, possibly in their will. But yeah, it was a fun time. There's not really a mystery, but kind of a mystery because you don't really get a solution. We learned about a family that like mysteriously disappeared and then that something happened to their home on the island. There is an island in the middle of Shadow Lake and that's where they go at a certain point. But it was a cute summary read. Very like crush heavy. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. Hold on. But again, these are designed for like teenage girls who are like, some of the characters aren't into boys, which is totally fine and great by me because I don't remember liking any of the romance plots as a kid, but I still coughed, sorry. But this was fun. They were still in there, but it was like two different characters and they both ended kind of different ways. It is very hot today, but hopefully I can get this book back to the library because I do have a hold in. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet in case we can't get to the library, but I finished this one. This was a fun time. Very cute. They're always very nostalgic, and these are a teaser for something to come as a video. So that's all I will say. But I enjoyed that. Oh, we watched Twisters last night. That's just a fun movie. We actually saw it in 4DX like a million years ago. But yeah, so we watched that last night. We just watched some like random YouTube before that, and we watched that before we went to bed. But yeah, so it was fun rewatching it with Krista. And oh my gosh, it's just so hot. We're actually under a heat advisory, so I went with a tank top today, which is very snug, but it's just too hot. Like I was like, I'm gonna wear my Harris Girl shirt and be warm. I'm also wearing like shorts, and they're not even like shorts. They're like men's boxers that I'm wearing as shorts because I was like, it's hot. I just need thin clothing. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I really do need to go, but I did want to tell you I finished this. I am going to see if maybe I can convince Krista to watch The Babysitter, the horror movie on Netflix. I think that and the sequel are like fun movies, but I don't know if she'll be up for it. We'll see. We did randomly watch We Were Liars. Neither one of us had read the book, but we watched that because Caroline from Vampire Diaries was in it. And so we're like, oh, this would be fun. So we did actually watch it, and we didn't mind it, but we also didn't read the book. So I just kind of went into it not knowing anything. So I thought it was fun. But the main character of that is the babysitter in The Babysitter. So I might be able to convince her. We shall see. I don't know. It's so warm. I don't know what we'll even wind up doing. But yeah, so I gotta get to work, but I wanted to check in. I know today and yesterday were kind of chaotic because it's been so busy. So yeah, you didn't really get a lot of updates, but you might get more updates today. I don't know. Did I tell you? Oh, we also went to the fair. Oh my gosh. The county fair started yesterday. So we went to the fair, and because my day was not great, Krista surprised me with like a fair food date. So we got cheese fries, and we got a walking taco, and I got a wine slushie, and we ate at home, but we picked it up there and then headed back because there's no fee to enter the fair. And if you park nearby, you don't have to pay to park. And almost everyone who is from the area finds a place to park nearby. So it didn't cost us any money to get in. It just, we had to pay for the food and stuff. So yeah, but I gotta go. I have to get back to work. I will show you the next book when I have it, hopefully. Oh, that didn't, there we go. There we go, got it. Hopefully. And if we watch the movie, I'll let you know tonight. So talk to you possibly later today, gremlins. Hi, gremlins. So my chin is very red. I just put some cream on it, so please disregard how red that is. We are, oh, hi. I bopped Chloe with my foot on accident. So we're in the bedroom, and I did say I would show you my book, so I'm going to show you the book real fast. The next book and final book of this vlog is Blood in the Water, Tiffany D. Jackson's middle grade debut. The only thing that is stressing me out about this is a library book, and they did not tape the cover on or wrap it. So I'm terrified that the cover is just gonna fall off because it's just loosey-goosey. I've never had a library book that was hardback where they didn't at least like tape the covers down, so it's stressing me out. But very quickly, the synopsis of this book is beware of sharks and secrets. Brooklyn girl Kaylani McKinnon feels like a fish out of water. She's spending the summer with her family friends in their huge house on Martha's Vineyard, and the vibe is definitely snooty. Still, there are beautiful beaches, lots of ice cream, and a town full of fascinating Black history. Plus a few kids her age who seem friendly. Until the shocking death of a teenage boy. Was it a drowning, a shark attack, or the unthinkable murder? Kaylani is determined to solve the mystery, but her investigation uncovers shattering secrets that could change her own life as she knows it, if she survives. They are mentioning sharks because Jaws is filmed at Martha's Vineyard, so sharks. I'm sure there are also just sharks, I guess, but Martha's Vineyard is where they filmed Jaws. But yes, so we're lounging. Let me show you the lounge. The lounge. Behold. We are going to watch The Babysitter, that movie I mentioned that I was talking about. And I am drinking out of this very fun skull cup. This is actually like ceramic-y. It's a Svedka espresso martini because it was in the fridge. And Krista very nicely bought me these espresso martinis from Cutwater I really like. But I don't want to put them in the fridge until I finish this, and I hadn't even opened it yet. So I poured some in there. But we're gonna watch the movie, which I should queue up actually. So let me locate that. I'm not gonna keep you on me this whole time, but I'm gonna find the movie, and then yeah, I'll finish this to end the vlog. So I'll show you the movie, and then yeah, talk to you after the movie clip, gremlins. Ta-da! Movie. Okay, bye. Good morning, gremlins. So I'm doing a really quick check-in because I was able to read some before work of Blood in the Water, and this is very interesting because there's something going on in this plot that is not described in the synopsis, so I won't tell you, but we learned some stuff that's going on with Kehlani's family outside of her going to Martha's Vineyard. So I did read the synopsis of this, and the book does pretty much get us to Martha's Vineyard pretty early. So Kehlani winds up or has been invited to go to Martha's Vineyard with these like family friends who knew her father, and there's been some stuff going on with her dad, and so it seems like her being invited is kind of tied into that. So she is at Martha's Vineyard. She apparently used to be friends with one of the granddaughters who is around her age, so she's kind of expected to spend a lot of time with her. And then there's an older sister to that person named Cassie. So there's Cassie in London, and what we initially are introduced to is a possible mystery concerning the home of the Walters, which is where Kehlani is staying, but that's all we kind of get. Like, someone kind of mentions, oh, did you see anything about the previous owners? And then there's kind of like a tease of that. But then we do get the possible shark attack, but it very definitely is not a shark attack. So this person that, is it mentioned? Is his name mentioned? I don't want to tell you. I will say it is a guy. It does say a teenage boy. I'm not going to tell you which teenage boy. So there is a teenage boy who we are introduced to, and he mysteriously dies near this bridge called Shark Bridge that they say is in the Jaws movie, but they're like, oh, it was probably a shark attack, blah, blah. But based on the prologue and Kehlani being like, that doesn't make any sense, we know it's not. This boy was definitely killed. So there's now a police investigation going on, but Kehlani is like, I don't know that they're looking at the right things. And they also have some suspects that she's like, I don't think they're involved, but maybe. So she's kind of doing her own investigation, and this ties into some stuff her dad had taught her. So he was very much into like, keep your eyes open, pay attention to everything. So she's kind of keeping an eye on things, noticing some things that she thinks people haven't seen, or even the cops have maybe not noticed. And so she's kind of doing her own investigation into the murder. Now, on top of that, we do learn that she's been trying to assist in her own like personal family stuff. And people are kind of discounting her because she's a kid, and they're also like, nah, we don't really want her help. So I think ultimately this story is going to wind up explaining to us both her family stuff. I think that's going to get resolved in this, or we're at least going to get like a clue as to how all of that went down. And for sure we're going to find out why this death happened. So I'm very intrigued. It's a middle grade book, and so I'm pretty far in already, even though I didn't really start reading until this morning. So I should be able to finish this today, and then I'll probably edit the video later this week. It won't be going up until next week. Not that this matters, it'll already be up for you. This is just me talking out loud. But I kind of want to finish it today because I have sort of a weird day tomorrow that you won't really see. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning that I'm incredibly not looking forward to. It's just a checkup thing. Has nothing to do with my hand or my asthma. It's just an appointment I don't like, and I hate going, and it kind of ruins my entire day after that. So I have that appointment in the morning, and then I also have work. So I'm just kind of like, I don't want to do any of this. So I would like to finish this today so that is done, and I can bring like maybe a book to distract me or something. I don't know. The appointment shouldn't even take that long. I just don't want to go. And I'm not going to get into it. If you are someone who has certain body parts, you can probably guess what it is. I'm just not going to get into it, but I don't like this appointment. I never do. It's uncomfortable and I hate it. But anyway, sorry. I knew I was going to cough. I'm drinking my not great coffee concentrate stuff. I want to finish it because it's hot. I do need to make cold brew again because I really like the cold brew. It's just messy because the coffee grounds kind of get everywhere, but I do want to try and make more of that. Just won't be happening today. But I do think later today we're going to watch the sequel to The Babysitter, which is called The Babysitter Killer Queen, and I really like that one. Krista didn't really want to watch both last night, and I was like, I really like the second one, maybe. So she was like, oh, maybe tomorrow if we have time. So we might watch that. If we do, even if I finish the book, I will show you that we're watching it. The first one is fun. If you haven't seen it, it is basically like satanic ritual, and a kid finds out it's going on and then has to stop it, or is trying to survive. It's a whole thing, and I feel like I can't explain it to you without like revealing too many things, because it's a very gory movie. So it's fun though. I just remember liking the sequel more, but I gotta go. I just wanted to fill you in. I picked this up to take a sip of coffee and then I never did. There you go. But I will let you know when I finish Blood in the Water. I may be able to finish it during lunch, and I will let you know if we watch Babysitter Killer Queen, and then that'll be the end of the video. And then I'll just be working on editing this one. But I will talk to you when I have book/movie updates, gremlins. Hello, gremlins. Okay, so the weather is wild. It is the end of the workday, and I did finish Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. So this was fun. This was, I feel like it might be a little short. There's some stuff that I would have liked maybe examined a little bit farther, but this is middle grade, and I don't read a lot of middle grade, so I'm going to say some of it may have been left out just because of audience, an audience that is a standard middle grade reader and not an adult who picked this up may not have needed that. I think it's a speedy read. I think it really hooks you. There's some silly kid moments. There's some like making friends moments, and the ending is pretty like eventful and a bit stressful, especially if you're a kid. So I did really enjoy this. I feel like if you liked this one, you would like White Smoke, which I think, I don't know why hold on. I meant to look this up before I started filming, and then I completely spaced. So let me, yeah, that one is YA. Yes. I think if you like this and you are an older reader, or you maybe are veering into YA, or if you're an adult who read this and enjoyed this, I would suggest White Smoke. I feel like there's some elements in this that like I think you would enjoy in that. I also love, oh my gosh, can I just pull up Stuff by Tiffany D. Jackson? Oh, now it's like also suggesting books that I might like based on. Let's see. I'll just click this button. How helpful. I loved The Weight of Blood. It is a Carrie retelling that is also YA, and I actually prefer it to actual Carrie. So I would recommend that one a lot. And then what else did I, oh, Monday's Not Coming is very good. It can get a little upsetting, but I do think it would fit with like White Smoke, this one. Yeah, I would say if you want more like nothing you like supernaturally, that's not true. White Smoke is like a haunted house thing, but I'm trying to think where it's like more focused on, I feel like they're all really focused on life. I mean, the Carrie retelling has Carrie, like there's a character with Carrie powers, but I would say they're all still examining different things. This one though focuses more on like the mystery. Carrie also examines the town and how people are treated in that town, and then Monday Isn't Coming is just so well done and also sad. And then White Smoke is family tension. I feel like White Smoke is the one I would recommend predominantly if you liked this one. So I really enjoyed it. I did think it was fun. I wanted to show, I don't think I showed these, it has really cute sprayed edges, which like, it's a middle grade book. Like, I'm shocked. I'm also still shocked the library did not like attach this to the cover, but I am filming in here even though work is over because one, my office has kind of cooled down. We've been experiencing these massive bursts of rain where it'll be really, really rainy, really, really windy, and then completely stop. So it's been a little odd. My window is open. I did have to yank my screen out because I went to lunch, left it in, and then I was like, ooh, the wind has picked up. I should go check on it. And I wasn't even fast enough, and water was just like coming in through my screen. Everything is fine, thankfully. But I did have to do that really quick. But yes, so Blood in the Water, solid read, highly recommend. I would say White Smoke if you like this one. But there are lots of Jaws references too, which I appreciated because there's like talk of sharks. So yeah, that is the last book. Now, I initially told you that I was gonna bring you along if we watched The Babysitter Killer Queen, but Krista has a horrible headache. She actually did come home from work. She and her boss were both actually not feeling well, and they're like headache wise. We think it's the weather because there's definitely a storm front doing something very strange, and we're not on any sort of storm advisory, but every county around us is. So we're either getting the storm everyone is getting and it's moving through strangely, or we're getting like bits of all of the storms. I have no idea. But the weather is weird and it's giving her a headache, and I really don't think she'd want to watch a loud horror movie tonight, because if I remember, there's even more loud stuff in that one. So I just thought I would fill you in on the final book and get that into my library bag so that I can get that returned probably this weekend. Not tomorrow. I think tomorrow's gonna be too busy unless I go after work. But I enjoyed everything I read, so that was very fun. It was all very like nostalgic-y, summer campy. The thriller Smile for the Cameras was fun and surprised me a bit, and this one was also fun. So I really think that's it. If you have Summerween recommendations or if guesses for content I'm going to be doing, because I teased some stuff, let me know in the comments. But I am gonna have to go. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me reading a lot of random books, more nostalgia stuff is coming. The next video is going to be the video I plan to do before this one, which was my queer romance reading vlog. So I am going to get to that one after this one. So the next video is going to be queer romance, just FYI. And then we're moving into some other stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. Thumbs up, subscribe. Also on Instagram, ClefGoEverAfter. And yeah, I think that's everything. I will see you in the next one, Gremlins.